What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody had a wonderful day. It was a little chilly out there, right? Like, what's really going on? Like, I had put up a thing like, yo, Mother Nature, fight back. Like, what you doing, lady? You know, don't go out like that. Throw your hands up. You know what I'm saying? Represent, 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 represent. My name is Bill Foster, and I'm your host. This is Real Talk Chronicles. And I am with you today. Happy Wednesday. Um, my wife took my thing, so I guess I'll have to borrow it back. Oh, you heard me.
Mm-hmm.
My little stand.
No, I didn't. You can borrow mine now.
Oh, yes. I guess is it downstairs or something?
Oh, you can use this one.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So this is Real Talk Chronicles, and we are sponsored. That was my wife, so y'all don't know. Y'all know now. Exactly. And like I said, happy Wednesday. This is Real Talk. The show is sponsored by, let me get the sponsors out the way. The Daily Arts magazine. This is the new edition number 5. It's the number 1 magazine right now for sports career, well, just martial arts on Amazon. It's the number 1 magazine. So there might be people in here. Shout out to Nathan Ingram and his son, Jacob Ingram. They are doing their damn thing. It's also sponsored by Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. You can get these speakers from Reggie for $85. If you mention Real Talk Chronicles, you can get it for $75. So you got to reach out to Reggie. With that being said, it's also sponsored by Ingram Taxes. Taxes can be done all year round. There's Ingram Taxes. I'm sure they will help you get their stuff together. Just reach out to Jacob at Ingram Taxes. Those are my people right there. It's sponsored by Melba Wilson. Melba had a birthday not too long ago. I hope she had a wonderful time. We were supposed to be there, Malika and I. We weren't able to get there. We had some other things we had to do. Impromptu birthday, but I heard it was slamming. Shout out to Melba Wilson. It's also sponsored by Soft Illusions Art Gallery. That's my wife and my mother's business, art gallery, Soft Illusions. And last but not least, it is sponsored by Leon Ellis, Chocolat Restaurant. Listen, you know Leon, he has all Harlem on smash. So we got Chocolat, and then we have Harlem Underground too. So if you want to support Leon Ellis, it's Chocolat Restaurant. And I just want to say, what's up, John Cross? Sandy, how are you, brother? Brenda, what's going on? Sandy, much props to you. Hold on, I think Rich. Hold on. Yes. Yeah, I'm here. Where are you? I don't see you in this. I don't see you. I don't see you at all. You sure you pulled up the right one? Yep. Okay. You got me all on. All right, let me see. All right, let me try to send it again. Hold on. Yeah. Well, as you can see, what's up, Tramel? How are you? Yeah. Can you help Rich out? Richard. Oh, Brenda, can you tell Rich I text him the link too? So I want to get into some stuff real quick. But Mike, what's up? What's up, Mahalia? How are you, everybody? So, like I said, let me just run down the sponsors again. The Daily Arts magazine, number 1 magazine. Amazon, number 1 magazine by Amazon. You can Google it. You can buy it on Amazon. You got Reggie Wells Quality Speakers. These speakers are really good. They are. I must admit, different colors. He has different colors. I don't know what the colors are, but if you order Reggie Wells speakers, he sells them for $85. If you order them, Yeah, Brenda, I don't know where your guy is at. He calling. I emailed him. Can you call him and tell him to check his email, please? I hope he checked the right one. What's up, Ollie? How are you? I got a good show to you for tonight. I might have, pretty soon. I might have to go solo. It's also sponsored by Ingram Taxes. It's on. I might have to send an email.
Yeah, listen.
Oh, here he is. Oh, look at this. Oh,
man.
God, Jesus Christ. Tell me, please tell me what happened.
I don't know. I sent you a screenshot of me on the computer with my face, and I'm there by myself.
Well, you couldn't have sent it.
I went to the email and I punched it up and went on, and I'm there by myself.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody, I have to give Rich special attention. I have to send him the personal email because everybody else will do it themselves, but I got to send my man. So first and foremost, how are you doing today, brother?
Man, listen, man. I woke up with the 2 C's. Chance of the choice, brother. Chance of the choice.
Good. I mean, besides the normal stuff that's happening, we see the mayor and I guess Black Lives Matter, they're going at it a little bit, but it is what it is. I have some videos. I don't think Kevin will be with us tonight, and Chuck might be with us. So it's just Rich and I. We're going to rock out. I got some videos I want to show, and I want your take on it. We're going to break it down. Malika, okay, let's see.
You want to do it now?
Yeah, I want to go in now because otherwise, if there's anything anybody else wants to talk about, we could chop it up. But this is in the news right now, everybody. This is a police officer, a detective sergeant in Kansas City, that he was driving, and did you see the screen? Yeah, and he was driving, and he got pulled over by his own officers. I mean, by officers that work in his community. I guess they share the same. Is this the one? No. Oh, this is. I was giving them. Okay, let's do this story then. I'm sorry. I'm not having a great day today.
Yeah, sure. It's okay.
No, it's not. Product is everything. So anyway, this story is about. Let's just play this video. How about that?
Video shows Westchester officers stopping and actually questioning a black man in a Meijer store. Police records show the suspect, though, in this case was white.
The innocent black shopper is now suing Meijer, the police department, and 2 officers claiming they illegally profiled him, violating his rights and humiliating him.
Chief investigative reporter Craig Cheatham shows how the incident unfolded and also how police and the victim responded.
Westchester Police body camera video shows officers Tim Menkenball and Tanner Sendez looking for a possible shoplifter 10 minutes after a police dispatcher gave this description.
Caucasian male, maybe late 30s. He's wearing a dark green / gray type colored Carhartt coat. Got a red hoodie underneath. I believe he has a cutting device.
Is this him right here walking up to us?
Within a few minutes after they arrived in the store, Sendez points to a man he said looked in his direction and mirrored the officer.
Yeah, look at Carhartt part of the left. It's not Carhartt. There's anything like him.
But despite Menkenball's doubts, the senior officer leads Sendez, a trainee, toward Eric Lindsay, a 60-year-old black man wearing a puffy orange coat.
Hey, boss. Come talk to me.
A police department internal investigation of the incident found at this point, you can hear a police dispatcher on the body camera video telling officers that the real suspect was still in a different part of the store.
I'm
doing well until I got stopped. What's up? Yeah, LP called and said that you could steal some items inside your jacket.
Then, Officer Sendez tells Lindsay that Meijer Loss Prevention said the suspect is wearing a tan jacket, even though police records show that wasn't true.
Well, what did they say? Because I walked in here after you guys. Listen. This isn't tan. What am I listening to? What am I listening to? This isn't tan. Okay. This is orange as f***. Relax. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. It's not okay.
Menkenball continued questioning Lindsay.
Do you have any items in your jacket? Hell yeah, I got items in my jacket. Okay. The items that I walked in here with behind you guys. Okay.
Well, that's not what we're being told.
After that, the police dispatcher is heard saying the real suspect is near Valentine's cards. Sendez leaves with a Meyer employee, later identified as a manager. Menkenbaugh follows. 2 minutes later, a different officer arrested a white man who matched the description of the suspect.
If they made a mistake like that and it was truly a mistake, what kind of people are you hiring and giving a gun to?
They made mistakes here.
Westchester Police Chief Joel Herzog says the police department's internal investigation found Menkenbaugh and Sendez violated police department policy that prohibits unjustifiable stopping and questioning of citizens, but found no evidence that the officers stopped Lindsay because he's black.
When Officer Sendez first saw him and when Officer Menkenbaugh first saw him, neither could tell his race. I think Officer Sendez says he kept mirroring me, which he felt in his experience in loss prevention led to, hey, this guy's watching us also, so maybe this guy's involved. But descriptions constantly change in our line of work. When
There's no evidence that that description changed, correct?
Not in this, no. But that doesn't mean between the time the description's put out, they have clothing in the store that many times suspects discard what they're wearing.
The I-team asked Herzog and Lindsay to watch the same body camera video of the incident and describe what they see.
These guys remained professional throughout this. They didn't escalate, as Mr. Lindsay.
You got the wrong. Admit it. Admit it.
Lindsay says he saw disrespectful and clueless officers.
For someone to make a mistake like that, are they that incompetent?
But Lindsay says he's also concerned about his anger and loud cursing at the officers.
It's nothing that I'm proud of.
He says since college and throughout his life, police officers in different communities have stopped and questioned him for no good reason.
You reach a boiling point, and I guess that was mine.
The Westchester Police Department gave officers Menkenbaugh and Sendez administrative warnings and required them to get retrained on field interviews.
It was about as minimal of a contact as you can have with police. It was just a simple walk up, consensual encounter, some questioning, and that was it.
Lindsay filed a lawsuit last month against the Westchester Police Department, officers Menkenbaugh and Sendez, and the Meyer Company, claiming they conspired to violate his rights.
Do I need to have been tased or cuffed to feel like I was done wrong? I don't think so.
Westchester police charged the white suspect, Tyler Brewer, in the theft. Court records show Brewer failed to appear for a hearing. 9 months ago, a judge issued a bench warrant for Brewer's arrest. According to court records, Brewer has not been arrested on that warrant.
Okay.
Videos.
Oh, wow. So, yeah. Rich, you still there? Where'd you go? Oh, you playing games tonight? No.
Oh, what's up with your technology, brother? Malika must not be there.
Hey, we got to email him all the time, and he got to talk about what's up with technology.
No, she must have left you home alone.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right, what's your take on that? Anybody, please give me your thoughts on that.
That's the typical, Chinese water torture thing, man. It's like stuff like that is like a drop of water on your forehead, and it's just torture. I mean, most black men, I don't know any black men in my neighborhood that kind of behavior in a store is like so crazy that it's normalized. I mean, and you just get tired of it. You get watched from the moment you walk in the store like you stole something, like you came in with something you stole inside, So you straight up a thief and you get watched. And it's crazy. I've been in the store and I've watched white folks steal shit and they don't even get looked at.
Gotcha.
And that's how this society is made up, man. We are guilty until proven innocent for the most part,
You know what's so funny? It's hard to, I always tell people this is why, and I try to explain to certain officers, this is why people of color sometimes have problems with law enforcement, because in 2022, this is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you just walk up and pick somebody else because you think he's mirroring you? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's watching. Appreciate you. But how do you have somebody mirror? You know, you talk about somebody's mirroring you, and that leads to your suspicion, and it takes you. You deviate from what you're there for. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
That lies the problem. Like, wait a minute. Let's stay on the case at hand, because I tell people all the time, officers are like celebrities, and catch where I'm talking about. When an officer's walking down the street, everybody, the majority of the person is just going to look at the officer to see what they're doing. You know, some people are looking at the uniform, see if they're new. Some people are looking at what kind of gun they got. Some people are looking to see, you know, are they handsome or is she pretty? Some people are just looking to see, are they going to bother me? You know what I'm trying to say? So there's so many different reasons why somebody is going to look at an officer.
Yeah, it's like being on the highway. You know, you on the highway and you're driving, and it's mad traffic. You don't know why the traffic is there. And when you ease up, you'll see some cop pull somebody over, and their lights are flashing, and people are just looking.
Yeah,
automatically they just looking.
Right,
and everything stops.
So yeah, and I think I never forget one time my partner and I, we were on 116th Street, and we were new. I mean, I'm not new. I wasn't new to Harlem, and definitely wasn't new to 116th Street, and I didn't know these guys. And we were walking. That was our post, and they were looking at us. Cats was hanging out, and he's looking at them, and he's getting mad, wondering why they're staring at him. So he's like, "Yo, B, like these cats are staring." I said, "Okay, like, what's the problem with that?" I said, "We're police officers. They're looking at us. You know what I'm saying?" He's like, "I think they got a problem." I said, "No, you bring your ass on and come on. Let's not turn up something that don't have to be turned up." You know what I'm saying? If the door is locked,
that's that same shit guys do in the street, Bill. You get on the subway, and you just standing there, and you got to look at something, and all of a sudden you lock eyes with somebody else on the subway. Now they looking at you looking at them, and this next thing is like, "Yo, what the fuck you looking at?" You know, and it's for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So if the police is doing the same thing, I mean, what does that say?
Yeah. I mean, but you know, I'm not co-signing this at all, and we understand that there is a humanality to this, and but you have to understand, not you and I'm just saying, you know, police officers have to understand this is why we feel a certain way. I mean, for the officers, you know, and you know what I had a problem with most all, besides them doing that, picking the wrong person, I had a problem with the supervisor justifying it. He was like, "Well, you know, the calls come over differently, da da ba 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 bing and bing bing bang," and I'm like,
"Yeah, he could have changed his clothes."
Really? And then it is so sad that the man said he came in after them. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. I see you, Sean. I see you, Teresa. Teresa, one day I got to have you on the show. I would love for you to be on the show. Vera with the great last name. Tom Zane. I see you and the wife in the building. Mark, what's going on, brother? Shout out to everybody else. Lynn, how are you? Stefania, always a pleasure. Roscoe, my man. One day, Roscoe, you got to get you on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in with the content we like. If you like it, please share it, subscribe to it. So,
but what do we do? What are we going to do about this stuff? I mean, we can sit here and we can just talk about the obvious stuff that's going on, but how do we approach this where there's a solution to this kind of behavior, man? I mean, what's the answer to that? Because for me, this stuff is coming from up top. It's not. This is just something that's like systemic, man. I mean, it doesn't happen to white people. It happens to us. And then white people look at it and say, well, if he wasn't doing anything, he shouldn't have a problem with answering the questions. But if you ask a white person that, they'll tell you, I'm not selling you nothing. And that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know, we are not afforded that kind of energy. You know what I'm saying? We would get locked up. It's it's great. And this is so sad how we have to justify this. It's so great that they let that man vent. You know what I'm saying? Because some other officers might have been like, yo, lower your voice. Who are you talking to? Like, it's almost like you don't even have a right to be upset. But it was great that they let that man vent and get that off his chest. The sad thing about it is that how does one come from behind you? And because people are watching to see what you're doing there, and like you said, you gave a perfect analogy. You're driving down the highway, all of a sudden traffic is crawling, and then you get to see the cops have somebody pulled over, and everybody's just being, nosy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be pulled over with them, but you want to find out what's going on with them.
Yeah, you rubbernecking. It's like,
So my man Roscoe said, build our own land to patronizing them and stop patronizing. Don't buy where you are not respected and appreciated. So, that is a whole nother animal. We talking about that because when we start talking about culture, what's up, Ty Poe is in the building. When we start talking about things like that,
who said that?
Oh, Roscoe, my man Roscoe.
Well, Roscoe, I'm in total agreement with you, Roscoe.
Mm-hmm.
For real, because the people they only understand the money aspect. When Martin Luther King did that protest on the bus because we couldn't sit in the bus and ride in the front and we had to give up our seats. What he did is he just simply said, stop giving them your money. We stopped giving them our money and they changed all the rules.
Yeah.
That's where the power is. The power is in your wallet. You stop giving them your money and they'll change their whole look at us. I mean, their whole economy. I'm talking about everybody that comes to our neighborhood that's not from our neighborhood. I'm talking about the Chinese restaurants, the bodegas with the dudes from Yemen in there. Everybody, the Jewish people, everybody that's got a stake in our community, that's collecting our paychecks. We collect our check and then we bring it home and it goes from your wallet to their pocket. They have no interest in us. They target us when they come here. Everybody that comes here from overseas comes here and they say, yo, all you got to do is set up a store in the neighborhood where the black people live at. You get paid. And you don't have to hire none of them. And you can give them the worst of what you got. And they'll still buy it. All they might do is curse you out from time to time. You might get stuck up here and there, but you gonna get paid.
Yeah. I mean, and that is a big problem with what you're saying because, we just happy if whomever gives us a free bag of potato chips or a free beer. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is he gonna talk to us and watch us. I went to the store the other day, and they had everything in there from. But the way they had it, I mean, it was a regular little convenience store. But the Asian people were behind it. They were gated. Like they were protecting themselves from the animals. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there wasn't any interaction. It was so like the old school stores when you come in after hours and they got the sliding window and you got to slide your what I'm saying, your money in there to get a Lucy or a pack of cigarettes or something. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it like, wow, like this is. It's almost like you're afraid, and the neighborhood wasn't bad. That's what got me crazy. It's a mixed neighborhood, predominantly black, but it was mixed, and I was just like, wow. It was almost so insulting that I didn't want to spend my money in there, unless I really needed something though, and I had to get it from there. I mean, I didn't have options to go other places at that time, but I was just like, wow, this is really okay. Like this is what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Like this is crazy. Shout out to Kenny.
Do you know something, Bill? A lot of people of color that come from overseas. You got the Caribbean people, And I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of folks that come here, the Africans, when they get here, it's like they want to disassociate themselves from the African American. The first thing they say, "Oh, I'm not them. I'm from Africa," you know. And some of the Caribbeans are not like, again, not all of them will say, "Oh, nah, I'm from here," you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the African American, you know, like that's being disrespectful. That's beneath them, you
Right.
know. And a lot of times I listen to some of the Africans that come here. Like I had a barbershop on 8th Avenue, and I didn't need a haircut, but I went across the street because an African dude opened up a shop. So I go over there just to patronize him, you know, to welcome him to the neighborhood, because I'm all about Black empowerment, Black business. So I went over there to support his business. I sat in the chair. I didn't need to get a haircut from his shop. I got my own shop. So I sat there, wait my turn, and he kept calling other people past me that walked in the door. So finally I said, "Yo, bro, I was here, you know, I just came to get a haircut. Welcome to the neighborhood." He said, "Oh no, we only do African hair here." I said, "So what am I? I don't know what you are. We only do African hair here." I said, "You know something, bro? I'm gonna leave now because what you said is extremely disrespectful to me, but I'm gonna leave because I'm gonna deal with that this way. I'm not gonna give you my money." So I left. Next day, he comes around the corner to my shop and he said, "Hey, brother, I'm sorry. They told me that you were okay." And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? You know, that was even worse. And I said to him, you know, you got this disassociation with the African American at a level where you don't even realize that if it wasn't for the African American, you wouldn't be free to come here today and do what you're doing. Because nobody from Africa, nobody that had any pigment in their skin came here until after slavery was over. And we fought the fight to get all of these equalities for everybody. Are you talking, Bill? Because I can't hear you.
I was talking to Malik. I'm trying to queue up the next video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't realize that, man, you know, and this disrespect is just crazy that, I mean, we're not united as one like Europeans are and people that are Caucasian, you know, they're united, you know, they got this whole fence around who they are and they separate us and constantly instill in our minds of this division. You know, we always divided amongst each other. You know, people blame, oh, these Africans come here taking all the jobs. Oh, these people, these Mexicans come and taking all the jobs. These people, those people. And it's like, we got to wake up. I mean, we all one. We all in the same boat together. You know, every culture is different. And when you hear people say, oh, I don't see color, I'm scared of people that don't see color. Why you don't see my color?
Right.
What is it about my color you don't see? You must be bugging out. I see yours. Why you can't see mine? Why you can't see my culture, respect my culture?
Yeah. I think that's a big elephant in the room. I'm going to read some comments real quick. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Richard Williams. And we sitting here and we keeping it real. We always extend the olive branch to anybody, anytime you ever want to be a part of the show at any given moment. You're always welcome just to text me or send me an inbox, what up, and we'll send you the link. Let's see. I wanted to read some of the comments that some of the great people in here was talking about. Roscoe said, okay, he said, build our own, patronize it, don't buy. Okay, I read that part. Let's see. Brenda said, black people are the biggest consumers. Top hope because our people are the ultimate consumers. Absolutely. Stefani said, yep, this is all true. Roscoe said, go to the state attorney's office, or state office, state attorney's office, mayor's office, attorney general's office, the governors, and complain. You can't go to the very same agency who is violating us and expect change. We have to respect ourselves to the fullest and back each other up. Todd Post said, That's like those that fight against residency requirements to live in the city that you work. Instead, make your living off of overtime wages and take those wages back upstate or out east to the island and not reinvest those dollars in the neighborhoods and city that you have got to get paid. Absolutely. These points can be made to that as well. Absolutely. What's up, Jonas? Reggie Mace is in the building. Vera with a wonderful last name. What's up, Yolanda? Kenny's in the building. Everybody, appreciate you all chiming in. I want to show this next video. Yo, and Rich, you was dropping some science, so I was letting you go as I'm queuing this up and Malika helping me, which I love. I need to put my glasses on and rock out. But I want to go to this next video because right now, I mean, we could talk about a lot of other stuff. I just want to show how many things are happening around the world. I don't even know if this one is old or this is recent. But we're going to play this and get everybody's opinion and what they think about this. And I think in this one, I want to show how, I'll say it after, but let's watch how the officer handles this situation. Go ahead. Thank you, sweetie.
And 065, Boy William Boy 5872. Hey, keep your hands where we can see him. Hands on the steering wheel.
Is that what you're coming over here for?
Yeah, that's why we're coming over here, okay?
I'm suspicious, huh?
No, because he called saying
I
that.
don't care what he calls
Okay.
for. He's following me.
Okay, we'll figure
Don't
everything
talk to him. I
We
don't
will-
need you to figure out nothing. I am working.
We will figure
I
everything.
am working.
Okay.
I'm a black male in a white neighborhood, and I'm working.
That has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it
okay?
does.
No.
He's following me.
Okay.
What?
He's getting out of the way, okay?
Okay, he's still following me.
We will figure that out.
Yeah, get the fuck away from me. I don't care how many cops show up. He's following me. Fuck, I don't give a fuck. I know he's a fucking cop. The fuck? You need how many cops for a fucking newspaper carrier? Oh, you guys are some badasses. I swear to God, you guys are badasses.
Okay.
Stop reaching for stuff, dude.
I'm not reaching for shit.
Yeah, don't keep your hands on the steering wheel.
My hands haven't moved off the steering wheel.
Okay, can I explain it?
No, I don't need nothing to be explained to me. I'm being followed.
Okay.
He called the cops. Congratulations.
Yes.
I'm coming to and from my house. Ooh, he's committing a crime. He's black.
No one's saying
He's black.
Okay.
He's black.
I'm gonna explain.
Oh,
I'm gonna explain
I'm
why
doing
we're
my
here.
fucking paper route.
Okay, I understand that. I see all the paperwork in your car.
Yeah,
okay?
congratulations.
He just called saying that someone threatened his life. That's why we're here, okay?
Yeah, I threatened his life
So-
because I walked up to him and asked
Can
him
you
why
step-
he's following me.
You're not under arrest. Can you step out of the
I
car?
don't need to be under arrest. I don't. Oh, come on. That's dumb.
Appreciate it.
You're gonna arrest
No,
me?
I'm not gonna arrest. Come sit right here, okay?
Fuck, I'm working.
Sit on the bunker.
I'm
You got any weapons on you?
No, I don't got shit on me. I'm at work.
We're gonna dispatch you, okay?
Gosh, I got a fucking knife in my car
That's fine. I don't care about what's in the car.
to cut my straps on my newspaper.
Okay.
Nothing. We
We are
don't
good.
need nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing,
If you
officer.
if you
What are
just
we
wanna
here
talk
for?
with-
What are we here for? Search my
That's-
car. There's
we're not-
fucking newspapers. This is the
What's-
second time this shit happened to me.
What's your first name, sir?
Fuck Cedric, all time.
Cedric? Okay, Cedric. Okay, we just got a call saying that
I'm in danger. Ooh, that's a fucking lie. Now what happens
that's
to
what we're
him?
here to figure
He's
out.
lying.
That's what we're here
He's
to figure
lying.
out, okay?
So what happens
So
to him?
Was there any
What happens to a liar?
We will figure that out.
To get 4
okay?
cops here. How many cops cars are here?
Cedric.
For a
Cedric.
newspaper carrier?
Cedric.
I don't need to talk. This don't make no fucking sense. I'm not under arrest, right?
You're not under arrest.
Okay, I can
No,
go, right?
No, you're not free to go either.
Why can't I go?
Because we're
I'm
trying
not
to
under arrest. Who's a sergeant? Who's a
the
sergeant around
sergeant's on
here?
his way, okay?
Thank you.
Cedric,
Please, I'm not under
Cedric,
arrest, right? I'm
Cedric.
going back to work, right?
No, you're not leaving right now, but you're not under arrest, okay? Do you want me to put you in handcuffs?
This is dumb.
Right now, I'm
Ooh,
just
you're gonna put me in handcuffs for what?
Cedric.
Because I'm
Cedric.
talking?
Right now, I'm just talking to you man to man, trying to figure out what's going on, okay?
It's not a man-to-man conversation. Go talk to him. The one's so in danger. He's
see
in
how-
danger. I got weapons.
Cedric.
I got
You
weapons.
see how
I'm
calm
gonna
I
throw a
am?
fucking newspaper at
You
him.
see how calm I am?
I pulled into his driveway. If I pulled into your driveway, I'm obviously your carrier.
Cedric. Just talk to me for a little bit, okay?
There's nothing to talk about.
Okay.
There's nothing to talk about.
Did you guys have any verbal altercation with
He's
him?
following me.
Okay.
I walked up to his car because he came around the block again for the 3rd time. I approached him. Why are you following me?
Okay.
Because I'm a black male in a white neighborhood? Oh, where are you at? I'm on the north end.
See, that's-
Oh, you don't know where you're at? My wife is black. I don't care.
That's all we're trying to get to is what happened between you guys that made him.
I am working. I am driving a bucket, and I'm in a nice neighborhood. I'm working. I'm over here every night. I see you guys every night. Nobody messes with me. But a car that sees a bucket in the neighborhood on the wrong side of the street, throwing a paper out the fucking window, he's suspicious. Oh, he pulls up to another house. He's going to steal a fucking Amazon package off that porch. Check my car. I got 15 Amazon packages in the trunk.
Said it. I'm not saying you're stealing anything. He's not saying you're stealing anything. He just said there was an altercation. That's why we're here. Okay?
You guys can be doing so much on that. You guys said one officer. Oh, you're following a newspaper carrier.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The reason there's so many cops here is because he's the sheriff. Who said that he got.
I know who he is. I know exactly who he is.
Threatened his life. You have no clue who you are.
The sheriff he's threatened?
Okay.
He's so threatened. I knew he was a fucking cop.
So
I'm over here every night, 6 days a week.
Warwick's home, please. He's not our sheriff. Okay?
Thank you.
So we're totally different entities. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. That's why there's so many people here.
Okay.
Okay? Right, you're not in handcuffs. You're not in trouble right now.
I know I'm not in trouble. I am working.
But until we figure everything out, and make sure everything's covered, okay, that's what you have to talk to them. If you don't talk to them,
It's a big investigation.
You see them leave.
Everybody needs to leave. You guys need to walk him home. Follow him home. He needs help. He needs assistance. I got 200 fucking papers. I'm not worried about him. I'm trying to get home. Fuck, I got formula in the car. I'm supposed to be home by 3:30. You guys are slowing me down.
Did you ever threaten any sort of
No!
Okay.
What am I threatening for?
That's what
I feel threatened. I'm followed. Just because I walked up on him, I threatened him?
Did he make any threats to you?
Nobody made no threats.
Okay.
That's a lie. If I made a threat, I'll tell you, but I didn't. I didn't even go to him angry. I just wanted to know why he was following me.
Yeah, that's
simple.
So, what this looks like is a big case of misunderstanding. Okay, he thinks you're doing something, you think he's doing something. Okay,
Because I didn't answer none of his questions, he says he's in danger. You're a sheriff. You're so in danger.
Stop. Okay,
That's dumb as hell.
You're not gonna help your cause getting out of here without him getting you pissed off. Okay.
What? You're gonna arrest me because he lied?
No, I'm just asking you to just not yell at him. Okay. All right.
You see me pull up to how many houses? How many packages did I steal?
I know you're a paper delivery, okay? We pulled over so many paper delivery people because, yes, it is weird when we see them in the middle of the night going from house to house, and people always call you guys in, right? You always have cops drive by you. Sometimes you get pulled over, sometimes you don't. Once you realize, oh, you're just pulling papers, let you do your job, okay? Obviously, he didn't realize that you were doing your job, okay?
Papers, bags hanging in the window. How do you not see that? There's no tenants. I'm not hiding nothing. Front windows are clearly down.
Okay? So once we make sure everything's kosher here, okay, we will get you on the
What do you need to make sure that is kosher?
I'm talking you to get your side, and they're talking to me to get his side. Okay? That is exactly what is going on.
You want me to write it down too?
Okay. Okay? I believe you. Okay? I do this one too, but I believe you, okay? So as soon as I can get you back driving, getting to work, making your money, okay, I'm gonna let you do that, all right?
How long is that going to take?
It's hopefully just a couple minutes.
What are we waiting for?
We're waiting for them to talk to him to figure out what his side of it is.
What do we need to talk to him for? He's following me. Just because he made the call?
Yeah, because you are the two.
So if I would have made the call, you guys you would let me go?
You are the two involved. So that's why we're getting
involved. What? A car following you?
Yes. If it's
a sheriff? Somebody that has a gun on him?
If it's as simple as that, okay? I understand your frustration. I appreciate you being smart. Okay?
How many times you gonna look in my car? Ain't no weapons in there.
That's a deputy, baby. He just got you here, so.
But what are we searching my car for? There's nothing in there.
He's not searching your car. He's just looking for one outside, okay?
You looking for drugs? Looking for anything? Don't do drugs. I just work. I'm just working. It's my work car.
How much longer you got living this night?
Yeah, I just started. I got at least another hour and a half. About to finish my first section. About to go to the second.
Did Did he tell you to like stay here, or did you just stay here because
I stay here because he's just following me. Yeah. I'm going to my houses. I don't want him knowing where all my houses are. So he just wait for me one night.
So when did you figure out who he was? Did you tell him?
I recognized him. He's been on TV.
Yes,
As soon as I walked up to him, I was like, yeah, you're a cop. But I know where he lives because I'm over here every night. I seen him. Mm-hmm. I see his wife every morning going to work. When I'm late.
Yeah.
This is why I come out here 3 o'clock and never get fucked with. I come out here at 1 o'clock, be early, try to hurry up and get home. I get fucked with.
And that's when the people are out still.
I guess so.
Yeah, I get it.
Guess I gotta wait until 3 o'clock every day. Sometimes I tell myself, I don't want to be late.
Hopefully you don't have to do that. Hopefully you can get your stuff done when you need to get it done. But right now, we're just getting you guys side of the story. You guys figure out. Do you have any idea why he said that he made threats?
Dude, I asked him if he was a cop. It was the first question I asked him, okay? I didn't make no threats. I'm not, like I said, I just want to know why he's following me. Okay. Like I said, we passed each other, okay, right?
Did he turn around?
Yeah, turned around, came back. Okay, so I pulled in right behind him, went to my house. And then.
I'm just talking with the other driver right now. I'm unsure.
I just know we ran into each other 3 times. He's obviously following me. I was walking back from my house and he was coming down the street. So I just came across and just asked him a couple questions. He rolled down the window. We had a conversation. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like it was, I got a gun on my car. I'm going to shoot you if you don't stop following me.
You just asked why he's following you?
I got 5 kids. I'm not trying to go to jail. I already been in jail. It's just not fun. All right, thank you.
And Cedric, can you not say anything as you drive past? Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually going back up.
That's perfect.
I have to go in this car.
Well. You know, so this is what you see. Thoughts. I'm going to read some comments, Rich, before I ask you your opinion. Roscoe said this is overkill and contradicting what is being said by the officers. No control was so rookie-ish. I would have been pissed as well. Typo, they never questioned the other guy. That this guy is on a paper route doing his job. Simply white fear, aka a misunderstanding. Yeah, okay. I feel Cedric's pain. Stefania said ridiculous. Roscoe also says, always a misunderstanding when a black person stands up for themselves to a white person, police or not. Police salaries are paid by all citizens, not just the white ones. Tracy says, I'm amazed at how long this is going on. Unbelievable. Typo said the misunderstanding scenario. Jacob, what's up, good brother? That's insane. I've been stopped once because I fit the description. Absolutely. Brenda, she said, if it's a misunderstanding, then let the guy go. Why do you have to check his car? The brother is just trying to do his job, and the other guy just wants to start, you know what she's trying to say. He's probably enjoying the standing on the sidelines. He just don't want him in his neighborhood. Everybody, you see what's happening. Rich, what's your take, brother?
Well, you know, I'm 62 years old. I remember a time when you were down south, if a white man approached you, or any white person for that matter, and you had to speak to them about anything, you basically was coached on how not to even look in his face. You had to look at the ground. You know, you had to be really, really like submissive in anything that you did as far as contact with white people. And we're living in a time now where black folks not having that. You know, you can't just treat me like I'm a little child or not human, and that I can't talk to you man to man, face to face, and we can both argue without one of us being depicted as the animal and the other one is okay. You know, you got to watch out for the black guy, you know. And this generation of black people, they're just not going for it, man. You know, they're going to argue. They're going to, you know, it's like, yo, go ahead. Whatever you're going to do, do it. You're going to kill me, kill me. But I'm going to die a man, you know. Remember that movie with Sidney Poitier, In the Heat of the Night, I believe it was. There was a particular scene in there where, because there was a homicide in the town, and first they mistaken him for being somebody he wasn't, and found out he was a cop, and he was ready to get out of there. So his boss made him work that case with them. So they go over to this rich white man's house. He owned this big plantation, and he went over there to question him. So he was questioning him, and the old white man got pissed off at the way Sidney Poitier was talking to him.
And slapped him?
Slapped the shit out of him. And without a pause, he slapped his ass back. Bow. And the white dude was like, did you see what he did? He said, I saw it. He said, well, what you gonna do about it? He said, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a cop. But I said that to say this. Sidney Poitier talked about that scene because that movie was in what, 1969 or 67. So that was at a time where racial shit was at its peak, you know. And he said that he demanded that scene stay in the movie.
Yep, I remember that.
A contract. He said, if you show this and you show him slapping me, you got to show me slapping him back.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was in the 60s.
Yeah.
And we at a time now where people just tired of that shit, man. And you got people that's tired of it that don't even know the full extent of where all that frustration and anger even comes from. Because it's still happening, but it's happening in a different way. You know? Like back then, they said, boy, what you doing? Put that shit down. You couldn't even try the clothes on in the store because you was black. You couldn't even come in the front door because you was black. Right, if you wanted that suit, you had to buy it as is, and there was no return on it because once you touched it, it was considered damaged goods.
Yeah.
So whether it fits you or not, you either buying it or you're not.
Yeah. You know, let me ask you a question. How does it change? How do you, I mean, I always say that you're not going to be able to, the culture is never going to change until people like us are deceased, because it's going to take a whole new generation of mixed babies and more educated people to make this world a better place. But right now, how do you think this can be rectified? Because the bottom line is, and if people out here in RTC are looking at the dates, this is 2021. But you know what I'm saying? Like that was 2021. This is not, it didn't happen in New York. So let's, be fair to New York officers, but it has happened. And the video I want to show about the sergeant detective going to work in his unmarked vehicle, getting pulled over by his we have to find that one. I don't know. I don't have it. But not now, sweetie. Thank you. Not now.
I'm on standby.
Okay, yeah. We're not now. Thank you, sweetie. But what we have to find out is how, like, that can happen all the time. He looks suspicious. I don't know who he is. You know what I'm trying to say? And the fact of it is, the sheriff called to cover his behind. Right? Now, got to give little, but I want to talk about the officers too. First, let me ask you the question. What do you think needs to be done, Rich? And then I'll go to my statement and question. What do you think needs to be done? What should happen to those officers? I mean, not that officers. just what do you think should change in how this whole interaction should go down? Not just with that, but just with the first video I showed, and in lieu of this, because these things are still happening. How do you tell somebody, yo, listen, man, I'm doing my job, and you can't, I commend the officer for just doing his job. You understand what I'm saying? Because he let him vent. But you see the other officer at one point when he was walking up on the car, he was like, yo, don't move your hands. He was like, yo, I'm not even moving my hands. You know what I'm saying? He was ready to just escalate it. Then he goes back, and now, and I know, and I'm sure Ty knows this, and other officers whomever's watching, you got them officers that's just now they starting to fish. So that's why he asked him, what are you looking at my car for? I'm out the car. Now you looking. You're looking for it. Now, as nice as the officer was talking about how calm he was still fishing. Because he kept saying, what did you say? Did you say anything to him?
Yeah, he wanted him to incriminate himself.
Exactly. Even though he was calm. And like the dude said, like Cedric said, he said, yo, man, I asked him, I went up to him and said, why are you following me? Now the sheriff calls on him. You call over him to just cover your ass. That was that call. What was your thought, man?
Well, I mean, my thought is, I mean, as far as what do we do about this?
Right.
What do we do about this is we gotta stop going for it. We have to start pooling our resources, spending our money, using our political power as one, and that strength has to be. You see how Republicans are, right? Republicans, they don't give a shit what a Republican does. They hold them down to the end.
Right.
Bad or indifferent, they're going to hold them down. If they're going to deal with them, they're going to deal with them within their party. And that's the same thing traditionally in a household, where if you got your family members, you hold them down, good, bad, or indifferent, but you deal with them. You don't root outside of your house. You don't hope somebody whips your brother's ass, even though you and him might not get along. Now, with our people, we really have to understand the whole system being geared against us. And a lot of people feel like, oh, well, I'm good. That shit never happens to me. Hasn't happened to you yet. And it could be happening to you and you don't even realize it's happening to you. We have to start understanding that we have to start approaching these situations from all fronts. We cannot act like this shit is normal no more. We can't go for it. We have to change the policies that put these things in place. Because the reality is the police department wasn't formed to police white folks. It was formed to police black folks.
Absolutely.
So they don't approach white folks with that same vigor and that energy. And it's not because they don't commit crimes, but this system to lock a person up and put them in jail and turn them into a modern day slave is real. And the thing about it is real criminals get caught up in it too. But it's really designed to just throw a fishnet out there and get all the black folks. There's a couple of sharks in that basket, but the majority of them is guppies. But they're going in too.
Right.
Shout out to white folks that way.
Right.
They get the benefit of the doubt. They don't want them in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Malika and I was talking about that earlier today, how you could see a bunch of young African Americans or Latins walking down the street, and the first thing you're looking to see, are they up to something? We have been trained to look at people of color in such a negative light, and we have to give the benefit of doubt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could see a young Caucasian looking baggy and think, oh, that's just the way he dressed. But we can see our young youth with their, I guess, what they're wearing the plaits, so I don't know what that hairstyle is called. Look like the Shirley Temple to me and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know that they're wearing their hair this way, and you're like, okay, are they suspicious for something? You know what I'm saying? It's a fad. I just want to read some comments. Shout out to Collins. Shout out to my man Malibu is in the building. Lenny Ingram, he said, Charles Evan Hughes alumni in the building. Lenny Ingram, he knows you, Rich. I guess y'all.
Lenny Ingram?
Yeah.
I don't know the last name.
Yeah. Well, he remembers you. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all around the same age, Lenny. Lenny,
I'm definitely Charles Evans Hughes alumni.
Yeah, definitely. Lenny and
74 to 78.
Lenny and I used to drive the bus together, man. My man. So let me just read. Ty Poe said, "My grandmother always told me it was worse up here in the north than the south, because in the south they would be blatant about putting you in place, but up here, the north, they were sly about it." Wow, yeah, that's real talk. Ty also said the 6 warrantless exemption, search incidents due to arrest, plain view, consent, automobile exemption, which they might use in Cedric's case, stop and frisk, extension circumstances, aka hot pursuit. Yeah. Again, Rich is on point. The start of modern day policing, aka in the South, as slave patrols. Hey, Cheryl. What's up? Well, Cheryl White's in the building. Yeah, man. It's, I saw these videos, and I definitely wanted to address and look at them and just see how things like these things are still happening, and these lie the problems that like people still have. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about the change. How do we change? You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, Bill. The reality is, a white man is safer walking in our neighborhood than we are walking in his.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe not at this month, but technically, I totally agree with you.
Even this month, all the shootings that's been going on in our neighborhood, there ain't been no white people shot.
No, that's true. Yeah.
They have hypnotized us and brainwashed us so bad, because I remember there was a time where we couldn't get a gun. It was hard for a black man to get a gun
legally.
Yes,
there was always a phone call. Now
but that's under the table. That's why I'm saying it was hard. A black man couldn't legally just go get a gun, right?
Not at all.
But now you can get a gun legally, illegally.
Not in New York. Still not in New York. You can get it every place else though.
But we shooting each other now. They didn't want to give a black man a gun because he might point it at a white man.
Right.
Now they said, shit, get them niggas some guns.
Yeah.
They shooting each other.
Yeah, and it's so funny. It was like one of the guys that was going to come on tonight. We were talking about, I'm not going to speak for him, but I'm gonna let him. He's supposed to come on next week, and we had a nice conversation about Black Lives Matter and things of that magnitude. So I don't want to deviate too much on what we'll talk about next week. But we had some interesting conversation, because the bottom line is, like I did tell him, and I'll tell anybody out there, the news is definitely brainwashing us, because they keep showing us our people. Now, are we doing it? Absolutely. But then, if you want to be fair, show us what other nationalities are doing, because we're not seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're going to keep showing what we're doing, then you're going to keep making it projecting us to be a certain way.
Yeah. And that's what I said, when Kevin was showing videos, I said, I want some parity. Every time you show a black person, I want you to show me a white person.
Right.
Yeah, let's go back and forth. We can go black, Spanish, Chinese, let's show them all. Let's not just show us, because that gives a subliminal message that it's just us. The amount of people that are on public assistance, 85% of them are white.
Mm-hmm.
But every time they talk about it, they show people of color. Anytime they start talking about public assistance on the news, they show people of color. And that's not just giving us a subliminal message that we the ones on there. It's giving white people that message too. It's making them think that the majority of the people that are on public assistance are black. And it's more poor white folks in this country than black folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know how to handle being poor better than them. You know?
Yeah.
But it's so many more of them, and they think that they're poor because of us. They say, "Oh, them niggas is taking all the money from the government. They living on welfare, and I'm here living in a trailer park. I'm starving. I can't get no money."
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So, you know what's so funny? We're moving along. You and I chopping it up. Shout out to everybody that's watching. If you like what you hear, like I said, you're always welcome to join. You're always welcome. Please share it. If you're watching from YouTube, subscribe to it. If you watch it from whomever you're watching it from, my Facebook page or Richard's Facebook page, share it. And if share it to your Facebook page so people can hear the content and let them know what we talk about in Real Talk Chronicles. We're here every Monday with Assemblyman Al Taylor, the first Monday of the month. The second Monday of the month, we have Dr. Marilyn Corder. The third Monday of the month, we have the First Lady of Def Jam, Allison Williams. And we supposed to have Pastor Graves. We just haven't had him for this year. He's just been on hiatus. We're gonna have to talk about Pastor Graves. We might have to get somebody else in on that slide. And then on Wednesdays, we got Rich and Kev, and Chuck has been out, I guess, doing Chuck stuff, you know, a little bit of partying here and there. So, you know, we'll just chop it up exactly. But this next video we're going to show, and thank you to my lovely wife for holding me down, because definitely we would be all messed up right now tonight. And I wanted to show this stuff. So we'll let you watch it and we'll talk about it.
Vandergrift police officer is under fire for this video that's now gone viral. It shows him confronting a black man at a local restaurant, but not telling him why. Viewers sent us this video earlier today, and since then, we have been calling and emailing Vandergrift police and council members for a response, and we have yet to hear back. But the man in that video told Channel 11 Shelley Boritz he believes he was racially profiled.
Ryan, the man tells me he never did find out why police came to that restaurant this morning. He says he was the only black man in there and the only person the officer approached.
Well, because I got called here for you.
For what? What did I do?
Do you have any ID on you?
No, I don't have to give you
No,
ID,
you do
sir.
have to.
For what, sir? What did I do, sir?
You do.
What did I do, sir?
God, send me another unit.
It's a video that's gone viral in just a matter of hours. The clips were filmed by Marcus Townsend and shows an interaction between him and a Vandergrift police officer this morning inside a restaurant. The video, shared more than 1,000 times on social media, has sparked intense criticism and accusations of racial discrimination. Townsend says the officer walked up and started asking questions about his girlfriend's service dog.
He had just came in, just had a problem with the dog at first. He didn't want the dog in there. He wanted to see service papers, and we don't carry service papers. You know, it's just not necessary.
The 20-year-old and his girlfriend had just sat down at G&G restaurant. Not wanting to cause a problem, Townsend tells me he asked his girlfriend to take the dog home while he stayed to sort things out. He says that's when the situation escalated.
Whenever the dog went home, that's whenever I pulled my phone out, because he started talking about, well, you know, I'm over here, you know, you were smoking dope outside the restaurant. I was like, no, I wasn't smoking. You know, I just came in here to eat.
Townsend can be heard on the video repeatedly asking the officer what he did.
What did I do, sir?
You do.
What did I do, sir?
When the officer started getting more aggressive, according to Townsend, he finally showed him his ID. But Townsend tells me that wasn't good enough.
Get up and go outside.
I'm asking you what crime.
Get up and go outside.
Sir, I'm asking you what.
I got called here for you, and I'm asking your identification.
Sir, what
get up
did
and
you
go
do?
outside.
When I got outside, he sat me down, basically wanted to run a criminal background, wanted to see if I had warrants.
When the officer found out Townsend was clear, he still ordered him off the property, stating the manager didn't want him there. Townsend went back to the restaurant 40 minutes later, where the manager welcomed him, even snapping this picture with him.
I don't think it would have been the same if I was white, if I didn't have the dreadlocks, tattoos.
After speaking with Townsend, I went to the Vandergrift Police Department to ask about this incident. I was told the chief wouldn't be in until Monday and that he's the only person allowed to give a statement. We also sent emails to the officer involved and the borough council, but have not heard back. I talked to the owners of G&G Restaurant off camera, and they tell me they had no idea what was going on or why police were called to their business. They reiterated that they never asked Townsend to leave, and they said he's welcome there anytime. I'm Shelley Bortz for Channel 11 News.
Yeah. So listen, everybody, what do you think about that, man? It's always something, right? Here's this man talking about he's feeling that he can't even just be he can't even just be in there with his girlfriend. Not that one, the next. And he can't be in there with his girlfriend. And this is what happens. You know, we're sometimes people, it's almost like, don't question me. And you know what's so funny? I have a friend, and I might try to get him back on the show. He's still active though, and I don't want to put him in any harm's way. But you know, in the South is really like, you know, like Ty was talking earlier. I mean, they show it. They show you. You know, the store owner, the restaurant, it's like, yo, he was cool. Got a service dog. Then, no, that's not good enough.
And he wasn't even acting like, you know, aggressive like the other dude in his language. You know, he wasn't like basing, like, yo, he was talking real nice. He said, no, officer, what's the problem? And the nicer he got, the more angry the cop got, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like he's trying to push his button, but the cop's button is, you're not showing me that side that I need to see so I can really shoot you.
And yeah, show me the side that annoys me where I can react and
so let me keep going
and justify the actions. Paula said, shout out Paula, welcome. You get that type of attitude and disrespect from those small town counties. Absolutely. What's up, Lisa? I'm a survivor. Great to have you aboard. My man Ron is in the building. Ty said, yo, he did that BS reverse victimology-ish the people used to have their officers do. That was spearheaded by the monster Joe R. that Eric Adams dismissed as soon as he took the resigns. Over 30 years in charge of police commands to torture our community. Cheryl said, I'm so over all of this, but the reality is it will never stop unless the politicians put in place a law to protect us. But this will disturb the narrative they want to continue to portray about us. Weak man, and Roscoe said, weak man syndrome. You know, everybody got a point. You know, like I always say, certain things we can't show. And we might show some of this next week because I really do want Kevin's take on some stuff. And I love the fact when we have like a civilian like yourself, and I always welcome any civilian or former law enforcement officer to come and kick it with us on topics like that. So now Malika's going to pull up the next video that we have. Unless you want to comment on anything else, Rich, I'm going to go to this next video, and then we go.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So this next video is about. This has just recently happened about a sergeant, African-American detective sergeant. I don't know how they name them certain places. Gets pulled over by fellow co-workers. And when I say fellow co-workers, Kansas City police officers. So we'll play this now. Let's see.
Hi, man. People do those. I gotta do it. Well, first of all, I don't know why you're dumping out like that on us. You can win once again. Damn, dude. What's up, man? What's that? Look, listen, your plates don't come back to the thing. So you're still going to traffic stop on you. Where you at, bro? I can take the route. Okay, don't do that to us. Get us the fuck out. Why? I'm a police uniform. I don't know who you are. All right, I'm going off. You said Detective Robinson? Yeah. Cool, man. All right, have a night. Holy shit, man. Everyone might be in patrol, dude. Fucking dumbass. Fucking retard. Oh, no.
Now we're going to show you the next one. With the interview with Detective Robinson. I can't wait to hear your comments. So keep them, hold them. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Richard Williams. And this is the...
and your assistant.
And my assistant, Malika Forster, everybody. I can't forget her. Thank you, because otherwise that we just...
That's headquarters, bro.
The same vehicle. It was not a marked vehicle. It's a vehicle like any other citizen would drive. And you would not know it's a police car. I'm driving to my off-duty job. While driving, I stopped at a red light, and I noticed a police SUV pull up on the right side of me, the curb lane. And that curb lane at the intersection is the lane you would make a right turn to go right. I guess that would be due west. And I'm the first car at the intersection. The light turns green, I proceed, and I'm driving, mind my own business, talking along, going off duty. And I look in the rear view and I see the police SUV behind me. So I continue driving, a few blocks, I'm stopped. Why are these guys stopping me? So I stop and I remain in my car for a few minutes. I'm like, this is Raytown. What? So I open, after a few minutes, I open the driver's door and I take one foot. I step out and I just step out and I just turn. I don't move. I don't take another step. I just stand up, turn around, and face the front of their car. When I face the front of the car, I go, oh, that's us. That's KCPD. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, the two officers get out of the car and immediately they begin speaking to me. Dude, what the fuck? Are you just going to jump out on us like that? And I'm like a deer in the headlights now. So I said something to the effect, I'm an officer. Are you just going to jump out like that? Dude, who are you? You know, I'm Detective Robinson. And well, where the fuck are you going? I'm going off duty. And the question was asked, I asked, why did you stop me? Well, first of all, your plates don't come back to this vehicle. Oh, I go, are we done? And I get back in the car and I drive away. As they're walking back to theirs, I'm called, they say, before walking back, they say, obviously you forgot what it's like to be out here. And they're walking back to their car and you go, fucking dumbass, fucking retard.
Did you ever feel your life was in danger? I felt, honestly, had I not, well, number one, I would never stepped out of the car had I not been in uniform in the time we're in now. Never. But I felt it was appropriate. It was nothing inappropriate or against policy for me to step out and turn around and face police in full police uniform. Right. I thought at one point, I'm like, are you fixing to shoot me? Are you about to jump on me? Or what are you about to do? Because of the tone and the mannerisms and the egregious manner that was being, the conversation was with me. Yes, I felt, honestly, I know why people are protesting. I felt that level of fear, even though I'm in police uniform, I'm armed, I'm trained, I have all these, whatever. I'm like this. I'm that deer in headlights. I'm that my heart's racing and pounding. I'm like, what are you gonna do next? And all I could say is, why did you stop me? All I could say was, I'm Detective Robinson. All I said was, are we done? And I'm like this. And I get in my car and drive away. Because they're up here. You're right. So I don't know what's about to happen next. But I felt, yes, I felt, I'm not ashamed of it, a level of fear. A level of fear. What are you about to do next? Because I'm thinking a reasonable person, it's not how a reasonable person conducts themselves in law enforcement capacity. This is concerning. And how are you treating other citizens? How did you think it was okay? How do you think that's okay to do? To me, you're dangerous. To me, you're a liability. And I could have been that victim. What if I'd have been in plain clothes? Yeah. With badge and other identifiers that identified me as an officer, but just not in uniform. And I tried to tell them I'm a police officer. Well, I might have been taken down to the ground. Right. I might have been shot. I might have reached in my car to get my ID to prove and been shot. I mean, things happen. So I'm that person now. I understand the protests. I understand what people are saying. I never imagined on this department I would experience that from my own. How do you think race played a factor into that? What else could have played a factor? I'm not asking questions the way I'm just speaking how I feel when I look just like an officer. And I had committed no violation at all and was lied to about the reason I was stopped.
Yeah, so listen, that's gonna be the last video on the show tonight, but I can't wait to find out what you think. Rich, what's your thought process on it, bro?
Well, officers of color a lot of times say, oh, well, I joined the force so I can change, that type of behavior. So my question is, what are you doing to change that behavior? Because they're not just coming at me, the civilian, they're coming at people that look like that. I mean, that are in the force. Now, this guy was plainly in uniform. And it was like they was pissed off he had his uniform, and they wish he was a civilian so they could have shot your ass. But they were still giving him heat. So now that he said he realizes and he understands what the protest is about. Okay, what do you do from within? I mean, and I don't want to call it an assault, but the action has to be on more than just one front. It has to be from within and from without. You know, citizens have to do their part. The officers that are inside, and I'm not just talking about black officers, because there's some white officers that's good officers, you know, but there's some black officers that's worse than the white ones, you know. So if that kind of mentality has to change, it's got to change on all fronts. Because again, I can't help but keep saying this, you know, that this whole shit, the policing of system was just for us to be re-incarcerated, re-enslaved, you know. And by the way, okay, you might as well police everybody else, but get them niggas, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
what do we do to address that? I mean, remember the movie, what's that movie Will Smith played in? Men in Black. The first one, where they were interviewing all of the different guys to see if they would make good cops, and they used aliens as the perpetrators, right? And all the guys that was shooting, well, it wasn't just aliens. They had an alien and they had regular people. And everybody was shooting at the alien. And he didn't shoot at the alien. He shot at the white dude. And he's like, why did you shoot him? He said he broke it down to him. He said he was no threat. He wasn't, the alien wasn't doing shit. The guy was just chilling. But because he looked scary, they shot him, but he got the real perp, was a white dude.
Right.
So in the minds of the police, the perpetrator has a look. They're trained that this is what he looks like, right? He doesn't look like us. That's who he looks like. So when we police this neighborhood, that's all that's in it. So let's police them like they're supposed to be policed. They're all perpetrators until we figure out they're not.
So let me ask you a question, and I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with you at all. I don't want anybody to think whatever I'm going to say is that I'm disagreeing with you, because I have experienced that in the civilian clothes, though not in uniform, being pulled over and then telling them like, yo, what's up? You know, and then get out the car and all that. And it became a real like cluster at one point. And I mean, I'll go into the story if y'all want me to, but the bottom line is I've experienced that. And I'm sure any person of color that's, you know, Ty, that lives in the city, he may have experienced it. You know, you driving, your windows a little tinted, or you driving a nice vehicle at a certain time, they're going to follow you and pull you over. And I've had it done several times because I've been blessed to have, I guess, vehicles that are look nice or to the current date that we're living in. With that being said,
but you're not supposed to be in that car because what? You black?
Listen, if you look at the mentality of the officer, now I can definitely address this. You can look at the mentality of the officers. There's a certain culture with, like, you know, they live upstate. So okay, let me break it down. This is how I feel. Anybody disagree, please correct me. If you're law enforcement, you get on this job, you get married within 5 years, and you move upstate. You accrue a mortgage, a wife that stays home and takes care of 2 to 3 kids, right? So maybe depending on what that mortgage is, you're looking at a certain amount of bills. And now you're driving, because overtime is for you. You know what I'm saying? Arrests are for you. Tickets are for the police department. You know what I'm saying? When we used to write summonses, making arrests or is what if you didn't have to make an arrest unless it was there. If you worked on patrol, when you work in other units like I did and Ty worked in and other units like that, arrests were mandatory. It is what it is. I'm sure Ty can contest to this. I mean, when we were working, we didn't make a difference. We didn't get drugs off the street like that. Somebody just took that corner after that. You know what I'm saying? Or if we shut down a big project, and then I'm not talking about project figuratively. I'm just talking about literally. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about figuratively. You just took it. We talking about, you know, cases instead of saying projects. We took down cases. I say all that to say that the mentality is what it is. But how do you tell a white officer that works in our community and he sees the shootings of us against each other and think that, how does he not judge us for the, or have an ideology of how he views us? How do we tell him not to have that when some of us have it of our own?
Yeah, well, he's not really understanding the plight of the African American and all of these traps that are put in place to create this kind of situation.
And let me play devil's advocate, because I wish Kevin was here. It's not his job to find out our past.
What do you mean it's not his job? I'm not saying it's his job to understand our past.
But you know, because you just made a statement. I'm agreeing with you. Hold on, Rich. I'm agreeing with you. But what I'm trying to say is I'm playing devil's advocate now. A white officer will say, listen, I understand about slavery. I understand all about that. But I don't understand about why black people are shooting each other. Like, I'm out here doing patrol, or I'm working in the squad. I'm a supervisor. I'm a sergeant.
Oh, wait a minute, Bill. To understand slavery is not it. To understand the system that exists today, you know, after slavery is what you need to understand. And if you're a educated person, you went to college, you went to school, what's happening is they're not just miseducating black kids, they're miseducating white kids.
Absolutely. I agree.
Right? So it's deeper than just that. You know, there has to be a overall rehaul of reality of what's really going on and why these situations exist. Why are kids in the mindset, in the mind frame that they're in? You know, so when those things are understood, then you can understand what your job is tasked to be. Right? So, and I don't even like to use this analogy, but even if you go into the zoo and you're tasked to deal with the different animals in the zoo, you know, certain animals have certain things that you do and that you know you don't do, and you can't deal with them the same way you can't deal with a lion the same way you deal with a monkey. You know,
absolutely.
You can't deal with a giraffe the same way you deal with a shark or the amphibians in the zoo. You don't deal with them the same way. You have to understand the nature of each individual animal.
So let me just say this. Let me interject for a second, Rich. I totally agree with what you're saying, and I think you took it all the way to 10 with that. So now that's like, let's see, that's like a person of color being a police officer. Me, I could take me for instance. I'm from Harlem, still reside there, work in Harlem, hang out in Harlem. Right? So I understand what it's like to go into the projects. Because if I was off duty or before I became a police officer, I might have had to go to the projects. I'm just using the projects as an example. Or I can go down 139th or go down certain streets and Polo Grounds or whatever, visit somebody, anybody, family, friends, cousin, whomever. Right? So when I'm in uniform, I understand maybe what somebody hanging out on a corner looks like, and I can probably differentiate between, is he really hanging or is he slinging? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But
why? How do you do that? Forget about the fact that you're black. How do you do that?
Well,
what is it that you see that a white person couldn't see?
Well, I'm from Harlem, and I understand that maybe a black person or a Latin person, this is their only park. This is their porch.
All right, but if I put you in the same neighborhood as white people, you still got that same skill set.
Right. No, but
make that distinction between a good white man and a bad one.
Right.
And you can do that in your neighborhood, not just because you look like them, because you know that your skill set is one that makes that difference between a criminal and a civilian.
So let me ask you a question.
It's not based on his color.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think
white people don't have that skill set?
So let me ask you a question. Do you think sometimes people of color can be too black? when I'm saying too black, like me working, I'm giving my people a pass when they don't deserve it.
Do you think they could be? Do I think they could be?
Well, do you think it can happen? Like, you know.
Do I think that it's normal? Yeah.
Well, normal, or can it happen? Because
it's called discretion.
Yeah, but no, what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to give you an example.
Do I think that you're going to give somebody a pass that just committed a fucking crime that they should be locked up for? No, I don't think you would do that.
I'm not. You're not letting me finish what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say, do you think I could see somebody hanging on a corner and just because he's a black person, not think that he's selling drugs when he's selling drugs because he's black?
Do I think you? No.
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, it happened. I was working with a white officer, my partner at the time, and we driving up one of the blocks, one of the 12s, 13s, whatever it is, one of them teen streets. Dude's outside reading the paper, right? Story ain't true unless somebody can co-sign it. So my partner's like, yo, you know, dude's out here reading the paper. So I'm like, so? He's like, well, don't you think it's odd that he's outside on the stoop reading the paper? I said, no, that's so we know. I go through the whole, that's our park. You know what I'm saying? That's our bench. That's our porch. He's like, okay. Bill. But he's like, Bill, it's like a certain time, whatever. So I'm like, yo, Paulie, I don't know why he's out here at this time. It wasn't like he was dressed street. You know how they may say street. He looked like a regular dude, you know, with a regular reading the paper.
And when you saw him, that's what he was doing.
And that's what he was doing, right?
And when he saw him, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, but
so what did he see that made him think he was a criminal?
He saw time, weather. He saw, why are you reading it here? What you could read it upstairs. I saw he wanted some air, so he's downstairs reading it, right? Comes to me after maybe like we worked another day, then we had our swing, which is, for those that don't know, our days off. Comes up to me and he says, yo, I got something to tell you. 2 days later, I guess, whatever. And we're back after our day and we're working, and it's like, say, our Tuesday. So he comes up to me, he says, yo, I got something to tell you. I said, what's up? He said, you remember the guy we saw and you thought he was just chilling, and I was thinking he was a little suspicious because he was hanging out there? And he said, yeah. He said, well, he got arrested for selling drugs. So now I'm like, okay, wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm thinking I'm Jason Bourne. I'm like the tactic master with this. Like, I think I could sniff out.
But did he break down how it happened, though?
It doesn't matter. I mean,
you using the scenario of when that happened that day, there was no reason for you to think that he was selling drugs, right? Even if he was out there in the cold. I mean, people come out in cold weather. Some people go.
I didn't say it was freezing. So I'm just saying.
What they call them dudes? The polar bears. They go swimming in the ocean.
Oh, the Eskimos you talk about?
No, the polar bears. They call them polar bears. They go out in Coney Island and they jump in the water in New Year's Eve in swimming shorts.
Oh, yeah, the Polar Bear Club. Yeah.
You got some people that walk around in the dead of winter, white folks, with shorts on.
Right. I agree with that.
Right? So it's not unusual for them to do that, but it's unusual for a black man to do that. So I guess they watched him long enough, and whatever happened. I was in jury duty, right? And a guy that was a heroin addict got arrested for selling dope, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the grand jury, they was going through the hearing. So the guy testified. He was allowed to speak for himself. So the cop was saying, yeah, I observed him making a transaction, a hand-to-hand with another guy. They pulled that guy over. He had dope in his pocket and a couple of dollars. They caught him a couple of blocks later. He had the same dope, stick with the stamp on it and about $70 in his pocket. So they was trying to charge him with a sale. He said, I didn't sell him no dope. He said, well, how come he had the same dope you had? And how come you had $70? He said, because I'm a dope fiend, but that don't mean I don't have a job. You know, I work. I'm a carpenter by trade. So I have money, but I am a dope fiend. And when you arrested me, if you looked at my pocket, there was a paper in that pocket that says I was scheduled to go to a drug treatment program, which is in the direction that I was walking in. After I shook hands with my friend, they said, well, how come you had 3 bags of dope on you with the same stamp he had? He said, well, if you know anything about dope fiends got to have their dope in the morning. He said, that night I bought the amount of bags I used to get high with before I went to that program because I knew after I went in there, I wasn't coming back out. He said, well, how come this guy had the same dope? He said, because it's good dope.
So okay, let me just say that. Now you heard that story. Now you believe that story.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I believe it.
Now the reason why I'm gonna tell you why I don't believe that story, right? Is because you a Harlem dude, you know the streets. Listen, when he said dope addicts need their dope in the morning, and he shook his hand, he almost kind of incriminated himself from a law enforcement standpoint, because that we're looking at exchange. We're looking at the point of giving money and then exchanging, and that's how it's done, right? Some people, there's different ways. Let me tell you something. I've been involved in damn near, I could say, me personally, involved in about 700 arrests dealing with drugs and narcotics, because I did 10 years in narcotics, going out 3 to 4 times a week, averaging 6 to 15 to 10 bodies. I can tell you at a certain time from the early 90s all the way to the 2000s, we was doing this. I've done cases. I was an undercover for 3 years. So there are so many different scenarios how we do it. Now, am I mad at a dude that can go to court and tell you a story and you buy it? Hell no, I ain't mad at that. Can it honestly be true that it actually happened? Absolutely. But if you got an investigator, you got an undercover, I don't know the whole scenario, who told the story, how they told it, who was.
Hey, Bill, if it was a dope buy where this motherfucker had a whole bunch of dope on him and a whole bunch of money, he had $70 and 3 bags of dope. The other guy had 2 bags of dope, right? The cop said they shook hands and he saw the money exchange. And my question was to the prosecutor to ask them, because they don't let you ask them. You got to ask the prosecutor to ask the question.
Absolutely. I know.
Ask him.
You know, I know the system.
He saw the money. I said, he saw the money that was transacted, right? I said, ask him what denomination was the money.
You can't do that unless it's pre-recorded buy money. Unless you can't, how would he be able to
saw it?
Huh?
He said he saw it.
So, Rich, let me ask you a question. If you see somebody pass somebody a money, you know the denomination from where you sitting?
If I'm doing surveillance, right? And I had these binoculars, right? I don't know who I loaned them to. I had these binoculars, and I used to stand on 155th Street. And this is what I used to do to dudes that would stand on the corner hustling. I would take my binoculars, stand in the middle of the street, and look down from 155th Street all the way to 145th Street. And these binoculars that I had, you could actually see what's in somebody's hand, right?
All right.
And I used to give the dudes on the hood and say, look, take these binoculars and look and tell me if you don't see so-and-so around on 145th Street. And they were like, yo. I said, so if I got these binoculars, what you think the police got?
Well, I mean, that's a good story, but I can
right?
tell you.
Technology.
Can I tell you?
You're doing an observation.
Hold on, because that was a very interesting story, and I'm not.
Because if that's not good, what you're saying is you don't need that. You don't need to see the actual or really know exactly what happened. You don't care what happened. All you know is this person had dope. That person had dope. He had a couple of dollars. He had a couple of dollars.
Let me just
he had a document in his pocket that
wait a minute. How many people have that, Rich? Let me just say this. And maybe this is something that maybe I may know a little bit more about than you do, right? Because I was deemed an expert witness for the New York City Police Department, Bronx DA's office. So they brought me in to close cases like this. When you have a drug location, as a professional, we go out there and we do what we do. So we set up in a drug-prone location. And
what location in Harlem in the hood is not a drug location?
No, I'm talking about
it's
any
white.
borough.
White. The whole entire Harlem is a drug location. There's not a location you can go to and grab somebody and not be able to say this is a drug location, and they say that's not true because the whole Harlem is a drug location.
Well, you're gonna let me finish? So I don't have a point in this then right now. Basically, what you're
not saying. With that part.
Why not?
Because you're saying a drug location. All of Harlem is a drug location. So tell me what block is not a drug location in Harlem.
But what does that have to do with the story? What I'm trying to say is that if every block is a drug location, then
so how can you use that as evidence if you say you was in a drug location? You just simply existed. So wherever you go, you in a drug location. So if I could say you in a drug location and that's my probable cause, that means I can fuck with you no matter where you at in Harlem.
That's not true, Rich.
On the premise that this is a drug location.
No, because the bottom line is a drug prone location is a place where somebody is selling drugs, or it's already, wait a minute, I'll let you finish, that people have already documented prior arrests, 911 calls, 311 calls, right? So now we can know that drugs are being sold on any block from 110th to 155th. Absolutely. But if it's not called on, or it's not a trained eye to see a transaction, then it's not a drug prone location, right? Yeah. It's only, wait a minute, you asking me, I'll let you talk, right? So now I'm telling you the professional aspect of this game, right? You told me facts in a point of where any block can be a drug prone location. Absolutely. But I'm telling you what's factual by the NYPD standards.
And that's a fact that every block is a drug location.
You can't say that if you don't know.
Well, tell me one block does not, so I can stay there.
No, what I'm trying to tell you is that if it's not been called over, if it's not documented, you see what I'm saying? A complaint has been driven, has been accrued, right? It has to be, that's a drug prone location. That means it's been paperwork generated because somebody has called. Now, if an officer uses his trained eye and starts making an arrest on that paper, on that place, on that block, then it becomes in the computer system a drug prone location. That's how it generated to narcotics. I've been doing drug arrests in Harlem, in the Bronx since 1994, right? So any block can be called a drug prone location. That's not true. The only way it's going to be called a drug prone location, the difference is any block can sell drugs, but for it to be a drug prone location, it has to be documented already.
Okay.
It can't. That's all I'm trying to say to you.
If you arrest somebody and you say that this is a drug prone location, it's a drug prone location just because the cop said it is.
Well, it has to be documented. It has to be documented.
Not once you get caught. If the testimony said, "Oh, this is a drug prone location," there is no block again in Harlem that you could say, or any place where black folks live. If you say it's drug prone location, that's what it is.
Like Roscoe just said.
Just because we live there.
Well, okay.
And tell me which block is it? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that a block is not. You never heard me try to dispute that.
Okay, so all I'm saying is in the testimony and this expert witness thing you saying, as long as you say it's a drug prone location, it is.
Because that's my profession.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
And any cop could say that, whether it is or it isn't, because you said it is.
No, not any cop. Any cop that's trained to do what we do.
I'm talking about once you step into that courtroom. If you said it is, in the ears of the jury, it is.
Well,
because if a cop says this is what it is, that's what it is. Because the majority of those juries don't look like us.
Well, Rich, that doesn't even have to do anything about not looking like. Now you're talking about testimony. Now we're talking about perjury and other things. Now, if I step into that courtroom and I perjure myself, then that's on me. But I took a sworn oath to get on the job, and I took a sworn oath when I go and I step on that courtroom. Like anybody that testifies, they put their hand on that Bible. So the bottom line is, I have the benefit of a doubt. Hold on. Let me answer. I have wait a minute. I have the benefit of a doubt that I am telling the truth over the person that is in custody or being charged with the crime.
But Bill, I'm not questioning you. I'm not trying to step
No,
on your
I'm not
professionalism.
talking about me per se. I'm talking about any officer. I'm just using me as an example because when you say tell you about any block, I can't tell you about any block.
Right, so you're telling me that there's no officers that wouldn't fabricate that whole bullshit.
See, you jumping from A. We talking about A, then you go to B. When I jump to B, you go to C. I never
That's
said
what
that.
I do, Bill. That's what I do. You know, the blue do what they do. I do what I do. That's why you got me on the show.
Yeah, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. That's rich bullshit.
Don't take this shit personal, brother.
Oh, no. I'm not taking it personal. Brenda said, oh, no, Bill took his glasses off. Yeah, Brenda,
I'm here to speak for the people.
Brenda,
I'm here to speak for the people,
a drink. I ain't drinking it. Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to find out where he going with this shit. You know
I'm here to speak for the people, bro. I'm trying to keep it 100 for the people.
Yo, my man, my old partner James Bullock, and yo, James said, yeah, he jumps to the next level, and he's all wrong. Exactly. Yo, James, it's like when we testify in the Bronx. The person, no lie, the cat. We had a case. Got the cat with all kind of drugs. Investigator writes down on the paperwork by accident, right, JB? He writes down, I think, an accident that it was a blue hat, it was a black hat, and it was a blue Yankee hat. Oh, Lord have mercy. The whole Bronx threw the shit out, no matter all the drugs that he had. And we was like, we asked the court, you asked the DA what happened. They said because they didn't believe him because he said it was a blue hat and it was a black hat. We was like, are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like a blue black hat. And listen, the Bronx, they don't care. They don't care, bro. Let me tell you something. The one thing about I've sat on the grand jury when I was a police officer, and I couldn't testify when I was in Manhattan because I lived in Manhattan, of course. When I couldn't testify when I saw officers I knew. I could sit there, but I couldn't testify. I couldn't vote. I couldn't vote. But what I'm trying to say is the one thing about Manhattan, they're gonna believe the officer. In the Bronx and other boroughs, they're gonna be like, nah, he lied. Just like you said, you can't believe that the fact that dude exchanged money in the morning because you want to know the denomination from a mile away. Wait a minute, because you got binocular, you got class G14 binoculars that you can see 10 blocks away. So you expect NYP to have them same binoculars. They don't have them shits, yo. You know what I'm saying? So, you're right. But I know the difference between green shit and I know the green money.
Hey, listen, before I take a motherfucker's life from him and put him in prison, I want to be sure. All right?
So how would you be sure?
You got to show me more evidence than you showed me.
Okay.
He had a story that could be true. You had a story that could be true. But the difference is, if I go with you and I'm wrong, this man's life is destroyed.
And if you go with him and he's wrong, and you go with him and he's wrong,
somebody going to keep doing what they've been doing, and that's getting high. Because
let me tell you something.
It's not a criminal problem; it's a medical problem, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It is. We've been dealing with this whole shit wrong.
So wait a minute.
Hold on, Rich. Let me tell you why. Do you remember when alcohol was legal and then it became illegal? And now it's legal again?
Alcohol has always been legal.
No. You never heard of prohibition?
Oh, you talking about times when we weren't even born.
But I'm giving you facts though.
Wasn't there?
But I'm giving you facts though. Alcohol was legal, and then prohibition came along and made it illegal, right? So now they considered it as an illegal substance.
Right.
Now it's legal again. Marijuana was illegal. Now it's legal.
Okay.
So now they're talking about expunging records for people about using it. People are addicted to a lot of things. I mean, people are addicted to sex. To get a prostitute is illegal, right? But should a motherfucker be thrown under the jail because he went and bought him some pussy? Excuse my language. If a person is using drugs, should a person be incarcerated for the rest of his life because he's on drugs?
Wait a minute. You see, let me tell you something. People, hold on. People need to listen to you because you play words. You said we talked about a person. You went from a person having, and see, I'm real good, so that's why we here together.
Yeah.
So you went from a person buying drugs has a what was the word? Did you say addiction? Or did you what you said? What you said? You say he shouldn't go to jail for what?
For having a substance abuse problem.
Okay, so now he shouldn't go to. So you don't.
An alcoholic go to prison for being an alcoholic?
No, not
Should
at all.
A bartender go to jail for selling them the alcohol?
They do now. The establishment.
What?
If you give if a person gets drunk, the establishment is
no. If a person gets drunk and then gets in a car accident or something like that, that's
right.
different.
Right.
I'm talking about just simply because the person is high.
Well, no, only if he gets too much and he does something and he gets hurt, then he's accountable. But now a bartender's
but the person that sold them to it should be accountable.
Huh?
The person that sold them the alcohol should be accountable.
Wait, hold on. Because you playing. I don't. What are you talking about now? You trying to twist shit
I'm
up.
trying to bounce on what you said.
What I'm telling you is that if a person has a drug habit, right, and they get caught buying illegal drugs in the street,
he should go to jail.
He got arrested. That's all I said. He got arrested. That's just the game.
But do you think that's right?
So wait a minute. Who am I to make the laws? Yo, listen, if you buying drugs in the street, that's just the price you pay, bro. That's like playing sports. You can get.
Do you remember when crack came out? And and at first they didn't have a charge for it, right? Then all of a sudden they started seeing the people that were actually using crack were people of color because they were flooding the neighborhood with it. They decided that this cocaine that was crack in crack form, we're going to charge people that use that and sell that with more time than we're going to charge people that sniff that shit, which was the white people in Wall Street.
Right,
same drug, but the punishment was uneven. And then you got white folks that got caught with crack and didn't get charged with crack. They got charged with coke.
Well, what about one of the Kennedy family got caught on 116th Street, remember?
No, he died on 116th Street on heroin.
Okay. Right. Well, it was drugs, yeah. I know it was drugs.
Yeah, he OD'd on heroin. And that's when they start cracking down on heroin because it was a white man that died.
Right,
a prominent white man. He used to live on 116th Street practically.
But hold on. I don't want to just deviate from that because we understand the problems of white and blacks and all that. You can jump back and forth with that anytime, and I know that's facts. Let's talk about the fact of somebody buying drugs and they get arrested. So you're saying if a police, what do you want the police to do or people to do if you arrest somebody and they got a drug problem? What I'm just, that's what I want to be clear on right now because I understand.
If you arrest somebody and they got a drug problem, I don't think they should be facing prison time because they have a drug habit. They should probably be mandated to get treatment.
Do you know that let me be honest with you. Do you know that's usually what happens? Not
if you take that drug addict and turn him into a drug dealer.
Rich, hold on, because I think you're going down a road. I don't think you really know what you're saying, and I'm just going to stop it right now. Most of the people that get arrested for drugs, possession of drugs, don't do time. They may do time until they see the court, and then they may get mandated they take a plea, a misdemeanor, and they got to go to a drug counseling and stuff like that. But they don't do any time. I don't know who told you that.
But Bill, the scenario
No. Do you know that? I just want to make sure that's
listen,
fact, but you know that.
Okay, yeah, but I'm talking about the scenario that I was telling you where the officer was trying to sell this. Say this guy was selling drugs.
Okay.
And the guy was saying that I'm a dope fiend. I wasn't selling it to him. He had his own. I had mine. We bought it from the same person. But don't say I sold him that. He had that.
Do you know?
So if the officer is saying that he sold him the drugs, not that, hey, I busted this guy and he had dope, so I'm getting him with possession and I'm getting him with possession. He's getting him with selling drugs. When his argument was, I'm not a drug dealer, I'm a dope fiend.
But do you know that sometimes drug dealers can use dope fiends or whomever to sell the drugs for them?
And I'm not arguing that point.
But
I'm just talking about
you're saying that this case couldn't happen.
In that particular case, I would rather let that man have his freedom and deal with drug rehabilitation than label him as a drug dealer with all he had was $70 and 3 bags of dope on him. Now, if you would said he shook his hand and he walked away and he had a whole big bag bundle full of dope, yeah, okay, I got you. Fuck that letter that said he was going to drug treatment. He got a package. He should be going to jail.
Well, let me just ask you this. The person that just has a habit, the bottom line is they're not buying bundles because they don't have it. They may be just buying 3 to get them through the course of the day.
Okay, so you saying what he did was not sell the drugs, he was using the drugs.
No, I'm saying he could have sold it because a lot of times, well, see, here you go. Now you got me breaking it down.
Break it down.
When usually when the drug dealer has the person selling heroin in the street, they give them bundles. Bundles come in 10s, stack of 10s, right? So now the bottom line is you breaking off 10s, boom, boom. So it is possible that he gave him 3 and he had 2 left because he sold the others, right? So the bottom line is unless you buy after a certain amount, you're not buying for consumption, you're buying for sale.
Okay, I got you. So you saying that the person that's hitting them with the package is only giving them a bundle at a time, so he could go and sell that bundle, then go back and re-up.
Yes.
Right. So, as a cop, if that's what your training tells you.
No, wait a minute. Not just that. No, because not you
trying to get him. You're trying to get who he's going to give that money to re-up. So why arrest him before he gets there?
Well, maybe he's the guy that's working that corner for the day. I don't know. I see. You can't have me.
I'm going with your scenario.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm going with your scenario, and I'm adding to it because I'm telling you what can happen. Because the bottom line is, it's like a traffic jam. When we're coming from downtown Manhattan, we got options. We can go to West Side Highway. We can go to FDR. We can go straight up 6th Avenue. We can go up 9th Avenue. We got options. So when you just show me traffic, I got options. You told me a story, and I just said this what could have happened after that. That's all I've said. I never said that's what happened. I don't know.
And I agree with you that it could be possible, but that this guy is a drug dealer. But based on the evidence that they had in court, I didn't see him as being a drug dealer.
Because
now,
he didn't,
the scenario you gave,
overabundance of drugs.
He might only had a little bundle, which he was going to sell that, which he wasn't going to have more than a certain amount of money, right, on him. He reads up by going back to the connect and say, here's the bundle, I finished it, give me another bundle, and then I go back, right? So as the arrested officer observing that, if that's what your mindset is telling you, you want the guy that's selling the drugs, not the runner, because he's a runner. You want the guy that got the package. So why are you arresting him before he gets to the guy who got the package, if that's what you think?
Rich, maybe if it was my case and I was the arresting officer at the time, or if I was out there doing what I used to do, I would have got all of them. I don't know why.
But
I don't know. I can't answer why that officer jumped.
It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, but I can't answer why that officer jumped.
We want to get the guy who got the package. Let's arrest the guy who got the package. That's like arresting the prostitute.
But Rich, you putting a Perry Mason on this when the bottom line is
that's what I do, Bill.
Well, like I said, we're gonna drive her to drink. Hold on. Let me read No, let me just read what people are saying about this. They say
cops, right?
Everybody, we getting off anyway because Richard drove us all to drink tonight. Roscoe, and these are all former officers that I've worked with.
I know.
Roscoe, so selling to support his habit is still selling. Absolutely. JB said complaints make it a drug location. Roscoe said cases are different than B&B. JB said, yeah, I was telling him, Jay. He wasn't listening though. Roscoe said, and his 3 could have been his payment for selling and the other 7. Absolutely. JB said he doesn't know what he's talking about. Those that get caught selling drugs and they are addicted, they get treatment court, a de-release on that charge. Absolutely. My cousin Fred, shout out to my cousin Fred in the building. He's a doctor. And this is, for those that don't know, this is Marilyn's husband. So this is my cousin Fred, Dr. Corder. He said the laws are not aligned with health problem. Fred, I agree with you on that. And I wish we would have known that you was listening.
Thank you, Fred.
Yeah, we understand that. They've never been. They've only been that for Caucasians. The whole opium thing that happened, it became we got to do something to make the world a better place now.
Yeah, but the same people that are policing black people are policing Caucasians too. So they're the ones that's actually giving them that pass.
Yeah,
they never make it there.
I'm not just no, that's not true either. They get arrested, but now it's a sympathetic ear. You got to understand, just like we have a sympathetic ear for people of color, white people have a sympathetic ear for Caucasians. I mean, everybody is just like this. You go in a room and people gravitate to who they frequent. You go to the room, you see a big room, a big ass room, a waiting room. You see an open chair with a brother or a sister or a Caucasian or Latin. You're going to either go to the African Americans first, the Latin, and then the Caucasian. You're not going straight to the Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? We gravitate. You'll go someplace, you see our Latin brothers and sisters. What do they do? They'll go hold on. They'll go someplace and they'll start talking in their native tongue, which is okay. You know what I'm saying? They're a comfortable zone where they can talk to. There's nothing wrong with gravitating to what you're more comfortable with. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and that's not always necessarily who you look like.
Well, who is it then?
You got people that walk into a room, a black person that walk in the room that walk straight over to white folks.
Oh, then
I grew up with a guy named Henry, right? A guy named
hold on.
I thought this motherfucker was Puerto Rican my whole life. He wasn't Puerto Rican. He hung out with Puerto Ricans, but he wasn't Puerto Rican.
Okay. All right. I agree with you.
He hung out with us. He hung out with Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, but some people hang out with who they want to be.
Yeah,
I can't
exactly. So people gravitate to who they want to be with.
Well, I want to be with your ass.
Not necessarily who their culture is. They gravitate towards other folks because they don't want to be themselves.
And let me read something else. Fred said, drug market capitalize on basic health problems and lead to an unreal social problem, which is not evenly treated. James Bullock said the penal law states that just the offer of drug constitute a sale, which makes you the dealer. Roscoe says selling to support his habit is still selling. Exactly. James said complaints make a drug location. Roscoe also said cases are different than B&B. Absolutely. So Stefani said, oh, wait, guys, Stefani, you changed the whole narrative. She said, oh, wait, guys, did y'all see what Mayor Adams said about the transit cop being there, being on their phones? The union and cops are now pissed. No, I got to look into that. We'll pick that up next week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Substance abuse problems that leads to sell drugs. Oh, yeah, we said that. I see which Rich is going with this. You saw where he was going with it, Stefania. I didn't see it. Hey. Okay, that was Marilyn, everybody. She's on Fred's phone. Hey, cuz, thanks for chiming in.
Yo, you got to take the blue contacts out your eyes.
That shit. Ain't nothing ever blue on here. I got on black all night today, baby. I'm keeping it 100. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. Thanks, cuz. I didn't even see that was you. So that's Marilyn is just chiming in. She's supporting us, supporting her cousin the show, and she keeping it. Marilyn said, you gravitate to comfort, but sometimes there are those who work against them because of their color. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Some people, yeah, you're right. They'll go someplace and see some other people. Oh, let me go over there and hang there. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But there's some people that, like my man Malibu in here. Malibu, shoot, he got the name Malibu. He played ball. He black. He hung out with us. That's my man. He's white, but that's my dude. And when he retires, I want his ass to come on this show too and join us, because let me tell you something. Just like we need somebody that can give us another diverse conversation too, and give us a different perspective on that. But right now he's Atlanta PD. Hey Yolanda, you know we got Narco Rangers in the building, all in here tonight. So with that, so now it's Fred. I got both of y'all. Y'all got me twisted tonight. So shout out to the quarters. That's all. I know. Two of you or one of you all in here. So yeah, Rich. So after that, I'm not going to drink tonight, but I would too. So everybody, Rich, he done changed, fluffed up the feathers tonight. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my co-host, Richard Williams. And we had an insight, and it was good conversation. I definitely love that. Listen, we got the sponsors, Daily Arts Magazine on Amazon. We got Soft Illusions Art Gallery. We got Reggie Wells, Quality Speakers. We have Melba Wilson. We have Leon Ellis, Chocolat. And we have Income Taxes. Shout out to Jacob. He was in the building tonight. Shout out to and we have Dr. Quarter. She's here the second Monday of each month. So listen, she'll be back to talk. I know she wanted to chime in sometime to talk about autism. Maybe we can squeeze her in coming up soon. You know, love to have her. Rich, give us some closing remarks. Yolanda is in the building. One day I'm gonna have a whole narco show and let you just say all that crazy shit you were saying to me tonight. I'm gonna just bring
all the crazy all you want. You know?
I know you want that smoke. I know you want that smoke,
man. I climb chimneys.
Oh my God, that's my guy. Yo, everybody, that's my dude right there. Like, yo, the one thing I love about my guy, what does he say all the time? He said, that's what I'm here for. Listen, he don't drink, but he gonna make you drink. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, that's Richard Williams. I'm Bill Forster. Rich, give him some love, man.
Hey, listen, man, I want to give a shout out to my man Chuck and Kev. I see you guys ain't here. You're falling off. I didn't mean to run you away, with the shit I say, man. But hey, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, they don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke.
Man. Stay out the chimney, brother.
Oh my God. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Richard Williams. I'm Bill Forster. Yo, see y'all soon, man. Love you guys. Appreciate the support.
Hold on.